Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Let's do it. If you have a wall near you, maybe do your roll down on the wall because it's kind of nice. Gives you lots of information. And if you don't, good luck. I did not supply you with a wall. Okay, so one roll down to get in your body, grounding through your feet, staying tall, stretching through the top of your head, long back of neck, and then tucking your chin, roll. Get to the bottom, grab onto your elbows, give yourself a little swing, little shake in your head, and we'll tuck your chin and roll back up. So really feeling that your pelvis sets it, and then everything else stacks up. So we'll do it one more time. Again, standing tall, long back of neck, feel that stretch, everything taller, and then use your core to pull yourself down. Grabbing your elbows again. If you just kind of interlace your fingers in your elbows, you can have your upper body works as kind of a weight. And if you're on the wall, you can grab below your knees, give yourself a little pull. And then bend and roll back up. Fab. We're going to do a mini cardio to get your blood going. I'm just going to get a timer. So what we're going to do is the exercise for 45 seconds, 15-second break. Another exercise for a second break. Cool. So it's low impact cardio, so your knees will thank you. The first one is going to be from this wide squat. You're going to squat down, so really thinking shoulders together, so you're nice, like controlled squat. Stand up onto one leg to twist, touch your elbow, back down. Yeah. Cool. Okay, we're starting now. So really keeping that upper body nice, your shoulders like engaged, pulling your shoulder blades together, twisting through your whole core. In your squat, starting to think, tucking your tail, pulling your knees wide so you get your side butt working. Yeah. 15 more seconds. Keeping your upper back nice and open and feeling that little stretch in your upper back as you twist. And I got this. Alright, and we're done. Now we have a 15-second break, so what we're going to do next is plank. You can do it on your elbows, or if you want to hang your fingers off something, we're going to do mountain climber. So knee into your chest. If you're feeling really bold, you can kind of hop or run. Gets tiring for your 15 seconds though. 45, sorry. Okay, we're starting now. So keeping that good upper body position, pushing the ground away, spiraling your elbow creases forward. And if you need a little break at any point, you can always do downward dog, give it a little shake, and 20 more seconds. Keep pushing the ground away, spiraling your elbow creases forward, and keeping your neck relaxed. So you're looking in between your fingers, not like back at your feet, which is my habit. 5 more seconds. And done. We're only going to do one round of this, so this is the last one. So we're going to come from chair, step back into lunge. Once you get the rhythm of that, you're going to add a twist. So step back, twist towards your front leg. Don't overthink it. You will do the wrong leg at one point. It's okay. Just keep going. Okay, we're going to start now. So in a chair. Do whatever you want with your arms. Stepping back and forward. Back and forward. Adding the twist. Trying not to let your knees go past your toes. Keeping your chest up if you can, and squeezing your shoulder blades together in the twist. 5 more seconds. And we're done. Yay! Now your hearts are going. Oh God, I hate it. I hate it. I don't do any cardios, and I'm like, oh, I just ride my bike. That's my cardio. I cannot say that right now. So this is it. Okay, let's come on down to sit for a little flowy warm up. So I think everyone's done this before, but we're going to do the side bend, twist, whoop. Really focusing on rooting down through your sit bones, up through your head, and using your core to do each movement. Okay, stretching up. Over to the side, trying to use that short side to crunch yourself further. Up and over the top, unwind to twist. And then unwind the other direction to place that hand. Push your hip forward and down. Up. Use those obliques to crunch over to the side. So you're aiming like armpit to hip bone. Switching up tall, unwind. Unwind and open. If you always do the same foot in front, switch it. And continue. So stretching up tall, crunch through that side, place your hand, reach long through that top arm. So you're trying to get lots of length through the side upper body. Using your core to unwind. And core to unwind the other way. Compress on that side, reach long through the top arm. Coming back through, wind up. Using your core to unwind. Trying to really push your hips forward, open up your chest, and down. And I'll do one more full round. Up. Crunching through your side, looking up towards the upward thing, ceiling, sky. Unwind. Pushing around. And left side up. Really using that side so you're stretching long through your other one, rooting through the sit bone of that extended arm. Wind up. And squeeze your shoulder blades together to get a little extra twist. And around. Fab. Hopefully with each kind of round you feel a little bit more open and free. Okay, little forearm warm up before our planks. So just big circles with your wrists. Trying to pull your fists towards your forearms as much as possible. Going pretty slow. Switch directions. Every single time I watch Greg do this, he's like, ah! Like, please, let's calm down. Oh, whoops, almost forgot slopers. So bending at the major finger knuckle, and then bending in and down and up. So trying to flex your fingers straight as long as you can, curl them in and down, shrink. With lots of tension, like you're actually trying to hold yourself up on those fingers. Down. 2 more. Shrink, shrink, shrink. Okay. Before we do the finger wiggles, we're going to do a quick glide. Because I always find these ones I can't flex my hands if I don't glide them out first. So, arm out to the side, palm away from you. So that's where the tension is. So you're going to tip your head, towards it. And then your fingers go down, tip your head away. And if you can't remember it, you can always kind of check it first. So I almost say it wrong by reaching up, and it's like, okay, that feels tension. And then reaching away just made it feel horrendous. So if you're not sure, give it a little test. Trying to keep your fingers as straight as possible. One more. And then we'll do the other side. So palm up, you can already feel the tension, so release it, head towards, down, head away. And you can kind of experiment with pulling your shoulder down your back a little bit. So you're kind of locking it in. Puts the nerve in a slightly different position. One more. Sweet. And now we can go palms out, fingers up, wiggle the fingers. They feel a little less nervy. I've been neglecting my glides. Palms down, fingers down. Palms towards you, fingers up, wiggle. And away, wiggle. That's a rough one. Awesome. Okay. So let's do a little plank section. You can always use your blanket situation as an excuse.
I absolutely will. Don't you worry.
Love it. Okay, so starting on your knees. Fingers going to spread super wide, making sure your shoulders are stacked right over your wrists. I just want you to experiment for a second. Sometimes it's hard to remember and believe the spiraling forward for your handstands. So push the ground away and spiral your elbows out. It makes you feel like a bulldog, like your elbows are bending and you look like those ridiculous dogs. Try to push as much as you can. Keep pushing and spiral them in. And out. And in. And out. Hopefully you feel there's a little bit more activation in your upper back so you can push more and it takes some weight off your wrists. So if your wrists are starting to get irritated doing lots of stuff in plank, remember that spiraling the elbow creases forward and pushing will actually help. Okay, keep that push, keep the stack, step on back to plank. Keeping the elbows forward, we're going to shrug. So shrugging down and up. We're going to do 10. Ribs pulled in, hips tucked under. Keep that spiral, relax and push. The fact that these are hard should tell you that this is why you keep the push the whole time in the handstand instead of relaxing and trying to find the push halfway through, because this is not easy. On your 10th one, you're going to lower down through chaturanga. Hands nice and wide. Wind up. Down. And shift back. Give your arms a little break out in front of you. Sweet. Okay. So now you've reminded yourself to just keep pushing. I definitely have a lot of these moments anytime I do endurance. I'm like, oh, let's take a little moment break. I'm just going to relax. I'm like, oh, shoot, I have to push back up. This is worse than I could have anticipated. So don't do that. Okay. Resetting your position in your hip top. Step it back into plank. You're going to roll over onto one side. Extend through that top arm. And do the same little experiment that we did in tabletop. So spiral your elbow out, so like bulldog, and then elbow crease forward. And back. And forwards. One more time. Back. Forwards. And then push through that hand, reach to the top arm. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With as much control as you can, come back through plank. You can always put your knees down to lower down chaturanga. Hands wide. Roll it up and down. And sit back. Stretch your arms out for a moment. And we'll do the other side. So, set in your position. Elbow creases spiraling forward. Step back into your plank. Make sure your shoulders are stacked right over your wrists. And then roll over onto that one side so that your shoulders continue to be stacked over your wrist. Little turn out, elbow forward, and then elbow crease forward. Reach up. Little turn and up. One more time, little turn and up. Now you use that extra push, reach to the top arm. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lots of control. Come back to plank. Lower with or without your knees. Chaturanga. Hands wide, roll up. Cobra. And down. And sit back. So doing it in tabletop and doing it on one arm kind of shows you how much that shoulder position can change where you're bearing the weight, if it's just in your wrist or if your shoulder's helping. And it tells you like what the rest of your body is doing when you make these adjustments. So when you're hanging and you're in different like grips, or if you're intentionally rotating in, that's going to make a difference to your whole upper body. So like when you're doing things like, now that you're in the air again, now when you're doing things like spinning, having that rotation in, which is the elbow forward, you're going to be more locked out through your upper body and be able to spin in more control instead of just being like, he's following it. Which, until you put yourself through the different rotations, it doesn't seem like it should make a difference, but it does. Okay, we're almost done with the planks, I promise. Sorry. We're going to do elbow taps to really lock in the upper body stability. So you can't, if your arms are done, you can always come down on your knees. Coming to plank with your feet spread wide. Push the ground away, spiral your elbow creases forward, and elbow taps 10 to each side. Trying to keep your hips nice and level, your ribs pulled in, your hips tucked under, so there's as little movement as possible, side to side. Squeeze your butt, push the ground away, probably have about 2 more on each side. When you're done, lower chaturanga, hands in whatever position you are feeling. And sit it back. Neat. Okay. Last one on our hands, but not in a plank. We're going to do the twist through, which is going to help with the special K and general rotation. So we're going to come from down dog, coming up on your toes, tailbone out to sink down. Push with one hand so you can lift the other, reach back. And I'm thinking reaching my supporting hand forward and my other hand back. So I'm trying to reach both of them away, unwind, back to the center, reach back, push the front arm forward, reach the arm back, and in. So you're always reaching wide. You're pushing and reaching with each one. And let's do 8 to each side. If you're feeling like you want some extra difficulty, you can go from plank, shift back into that twisted down dog, and forward to plank. And if you're done with planks for the day, just the twist is really good. So really push the ground away, use your core to twist, and then reach with that back hand. Reach with that back hand. Push the other one away. Your head is really lining up in your armpit. reach, control back, push and reach. And then you can come down to your knees and stretch out your arms. Or take whatever break it is that you desire. Sweet. Yeah. Pushing and reaching just like keeps lots of space in your upper body, so those kind of weighted twists start to feel more like the seated twists at the beginning, because you have some energy coming out of your center. Sarah Miller always says, energy lines, which I don't know, she's so innocent that it took us telling her that that maybe wasn't the most appropriate thing to yell out in a studio, because people might assume you're talking about something different, which is adorable. Okay, let's do some shouldery bandy things now that they're all like loose and good. So we're going to start with our little shoulder mob flow. So no bands to start, but you can gather them around if they're not next to you. Okay. Actually, I want you guys to go to the wall for a second, and if you stand on the bench, you can use the back thing. You're going to come to the cactus shape, so your back's flat against the wall, back of your head's on the wall, low back's on the wall. It's cactusy shape. And then you're going to slide your hands up the wall as far as you can, keeping everything flat to the wall, including your elbows and your wrists. So don't force it. You can also do it lying on the ground if you don't want to stand up on that thing. So don't super force it. This is going to be your baseline, so we're going to come back and do it again after the shoulder section. So trying to scoot them up as high as you can, yeah. Even if your hands go off the top, that's okay. Trying to aim for that arms over your head shape. Back down, take a little breath, and then do it again. Yeah, so everything's nice and still, everything's stuck to the wall. Ooh, ah, back down. Try to memorize what that top place feels like or looks like, because we'll do it at the end. But this one's particularly hard because it's a combination of rotation and extension. So it's all of the things. It's a combination of all the things that we're going to work. So we'll revisit that at the end to see your Insta progress. Those were some squeaks. Please. Over here. Okay, so on your knees, hands forward. First couple, just nice and easy rotations to get any little clicks out of your shoulders. So we're going to do a total of 8. So then you can start reaching farther forward with that arm so there's a bit more tension in the whole system. You can also push down into the hand on the ground so that shoulder is doing a bit of work. So it's a balance of tension and not letting yourself rotate open. After 8, you can take a little moment because both sides are active, and then switch to the other side. So the first couple are just to get it moving. It always feels a little awkward. And then start adding a little extra reach with that arm. And push with the grounded arm. And as it feels freer and freer, you can start thinking of reaching farther forward with your hands so that your upper back is nice and smooth and flat. No wings going on. Looks good though. Okay. Rotation, other theme of the day. Elbows in your knees, hands at your head. You can put your finger on the back of your head, thumb on your shoulder. So the stack. So I'm really pushing down into the ground with my bottom elbow, and then squeezing my shoulder blades to twist, everything comes down. So the push gets that bottom shoulder in on the party, and then you're twisting away from it and down. And the fingers spreading your shoulder and head apart just help remind you not to just look up and move your head. And we're doing 8. Yeah, really trying to feel that push down into the ground and up. It's the same push of the elbow stand. So even just doing that little activation in this is going to help all those little stabilizers turn on for your elbow stands. Move it, and then to your other side. Just notice if your two sides are different, if it feels like you're twisting from a different place in your back, or if you can turn more things on. So it's good to know, so that when you go to try a move in the air, you can decide which one to try first. Sweet. Okay, so we haven't done this one in a little bit, but I want to come back to it. So this is the OG shoulder warm-up. Me. Reach up, hold. Flip the palm, bring it back and around to scratch your shoulder blade. Press the palm to up, sky, around, and back. Oh god. You'd think I'd be used to being outside by now. So, think about keeping your neck nice and neutral so the back of your neck is long, your chin is slightly tucked, and it's not going to move. Reaching your arm as high as you can towards your ear, super straight arm. Flip the palm, bring it around, really pulling your shoulder away from your ear. Push the palm to the sky. Flip it around and down. So it's nice and slow, and so we're just going to do 4 on each arm. Yeah, trying to hold the hold, arm by your ear. Hold that for a moment, and then again when it's bent and at your shoulder blade. Trying to pull your shoulder away from your ear. Press the palm away. Nice. Which is a position for a reverse meat hook, of which there are many kind of fakey supported versions to do on the hoop or the trapeze, where you have your hand behind you, and it's kind of keeping you on, but you can use that position to start setting the shoulder like you would be hanging on it with no other limbs on. But this is a great warm-up for it. So if you have a nice light looped band, find that. if you decide you don't like those. The bigger one might be nicer, though. I will tell you that. Okay. So this one is going to start getting your shoulders doing this shrugging motion that you're going to want in the air a lot. So band is around your wrists. Hands are going to be in front of you. So you're going to have slight pressure out into the band so that your arms are shoulder width apart. Palms are facing each other. The first part is deceptively, it's easy to make little cheats. So really notice as you reach your arms up, trying to make sure they're both going smoothly till they get above your head. You're going to turn your palms forward, push out into the band, and cactus bend your arms like you did on the wall with the band behind your head. Up. Turn them over, so palms together, and down. Slight pressure. Keeping your shoulders away from your ears. You're reaching them up, so it just means no crunching. Turn your palms forward. Press out into the band and pull them back. Shoulders down away from your ears. How it initiates. Band comes behind your head. Control up. Rotate in and down. We're going to do 5 of these, and then we might do a second set, but I find them really hard to do more than 5 in a row. So really concentrating that your arms are going smoothly up, turn, press, and pull. Shoulders away from your ears. Up. Controlling down, doing your best to keep your elbows tending in. As you get tired, the tendency is to kind of hourglass it out. Last one. Here, more break. I get so shaky after about 2 of those, so I think I should do them more often. So we'll take a little break, and we're going to do another set of them because I think they're really good. And maybe you'll kind of notice some things. Lacey looks so pleased. But all of these kinds of shapes, so we've been playing with them, and I think both of you have done variations of it, kind of knee on, hand on, and then you can swim under, and they kind of pull up, and some people pull straight up into the hoop. But it's in this weird place, I know, it's insane, with Leanne does it sometimes, so where the head goes, they just pull straight up. But if you don't have this strength, you're going to try to use your shoulder, and that's when it feels really wrenchy. So, if you've done that move, think of it for this set. And what we're gonna add one little rotation at the end of it. So, do it together. So, slight pressure out. Up, nice and smooth. Feeling your ribs pull in as you arrive at the top. Palms forward, press out. Shoulders away from your ears down. And then turn your palms out like flamenco. In, or forward, up, now in, and down. So it starts in, forward, out, forward, in. Up. And if you want to go to a lighter band, cool. And if you want to go to a heavier band, badass. So shoulders away from your ears, and then that you're still keeping them down and trying to turn out, in, or forward, back in, I guess, together, and down. Nice. And we'll just do 2 more. You can kind of go at your own pace, just trying to be as smooth as possible, keeping your ribs pulled in so that your core is staying engaged, so it's really your shoulders doing all the work. And as you get tired, really trying to make that last descent, elbows stay in. Up. Palms forward, press out. Slight turn out. Keep your elbows narrow. And then you can give yourself a break. But you can really feel if you do the pull and then the rotation. So if you're already in the rotation, it's like, oh, how do I do it? I do the pull and keep rotating as I go. So you can break down these kind of weird shouldery things into pulls and rotations, so they make sense. Sweet. So the last one we'll do with the band is a serratus to kind of even all this out, because that was a lot of like upper back work. So we're going to do the band on the elbows. We're going to go crisscross just to kind of set it, and then one arm lifts up and down. But we're going to do it on your knees with your elbows on the ground. So, tip it in a little tiny bit so you can clearly see it. Yeah. So, elbows on the ground. Da-da-da. So they're shoulder width apart. The farther out your elbows are, the harder it is. So if it feels like you can't do it at all, move your elbows in. If it's easy, move them out. So cross. We're going to do all 8 on one side. So you're lifting your hands straight up and down. Pushing forward with the elbow slightly, hand goes straight up. 3. Forward slight with the elbow, reaching your hand up. Trying to make sure that it's going straight up, not collapsing to the inside. And if your arm's getting tired, you can put your other arm down. Elbow forward, hand up. So it's like a mini swoop. And then give yourself a break between your two sides, because both sides are doing lots of work. Yeah. So the elbow cue is really subtle, and it's more so if you don't think of it, it tends to, this will kind of happen. So you're thinking swoop forward with your elbow, lift it up. Forward and up. That kind of keeps your shoulder blades sucked onto your back. To the other side. Cross to set. And yeah, if you find yourself getting tired, you can always put that hand down. Elbow forward, hand up. Ooh, worse. And then give yourself a little break. Putting your arms behind you might feel nice on them. Fab. Cool. And totally changed my mind. Well, this one's more of a stretch than anything else. We're going to do the little shoulder floss. So if you have a long band, I like a pretty heavy one. I like a heavy one. That's why I fold mine up. Do it sit however you're comfortable. My feet are going to sleep, so that's why. So you can take a couple to find your width, but just like the ones we just did, you're pushing out slightly to pull back and around. So that slight tension, especially now that it's warmed up, will help you move smoothly and not turn into one of these guys. We'll just do 8 kind of back and forth. Ribs in. Trying to make sure both of your shoulders are going at the same time. After 8, you're going to tuck one shoulder in behind you. So this is the really nice stretch for all of these kind of swim through things. And you're just, so the back hand's really heavy, and you're just pulling it up with the front hand. And you can watch yourself in the screen to make sure you're not like going off to the side, doing whatever. It's ribs in, nice and controlled. So you're getting the floss and the stretch in the back shoulder, and you're building up that stability of pulling it straight forward with the top one. And the more you pull your ribs in as that back arm goes up, the more kind of front of shoulder stretch you get. And after 8 or so, you can switch to the other side. Hang out there for a moment and then start flossing. Yeah, so pulling your ribs in slightly as you pull that back arm up. Change the stretch a little bit. And will help you keep nice control over your top arm. So it doesn't get all wavy. Sweet. My hands got cold doing all those. Okay, so go back to the wall and do your cactus again. So we just did a whole bunch of upper back shoulder stuff in rotation and extension, so hopefully the cactus will feel a bit easier. And if it doesn't, I will be surprised. Yeah. Really squeezing your shoulder blades together to get them flat against the wall, and then up, and down. Does it feel a little freer? Sarah almost looks like she's breathing.
Which is rare in this position.
And you just have to do a couple to check in. Yeah, because just like every other flexibility, it sucks at the end range, and even if you progress beyond it, you're at a new end range, which is just a new suck. Which is a very eloquent way of putting it. Oh god. But yeah, it's nice to kind of give yourself like a thing at the beginning and the end of a little session to compare. Sweet. Drink some water. And we'll do some core. Ass and Abs Express. It'll be a relatively short one. Okay. Ooh, that's close. So we're of course starting with dead bugs. Ooh, the best. Maybe give your hips a little height, so roll up your mat or fold up your blanket. Just so it's a little tiny height, so not so high like a block, just a little bit of extra, because that's going to encourage your tail to tuck under, so your low core stage engaged, and it's going to make you find that straight line by feeling as opposed to knowing, oh, my heel's right next to the ground. So we're going to do it for a minute. You can alternate sides, and if you have a favorite version of dead bugs, go for it. Okay. Ooh, not 1 hour, 1 minute. Okay. Close call, and go. Tail tuck, knees stay directly over your hips, and extend that leg out to straight. So doing a lot of handstands, sometimes you can end up in not quite the line that you're expecting. So I always tend towards a little bit piked. So I like doing the dead bugs with this like extra height because I have to actually find open hip extension, which I lose sometimes in my handstand line. Just trying too hard. you've lost it, tuck your tail, pushing your low back towards the ground. And see. Stretch out your stomach a little bit. And then we'll come to our side. Who's that tree here? The sun has gone behind a tree. So we're gonna do clam shells. So let's do it with a band if you have one. And we'll do 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other side. So on your side, making sure your heels are in line with your butt. Your hips are stacked on top of each other. Tail is slightly tucked. And go. So really using that side butt to spiral your leg, much like you've been spiraling your arms. Relaxing through your hip flexor. And try not to clench through your bottom leg either. And we'll take a brief 3-second pause to switch to the other side. Taking a moment to set yourself up, heels in line, hips stacked, and go. Relaxing through that hip flexor using the side butt. And making sure you're controlling your weight down as well as up. Tucking your tail, pushing that top hip forward slightly as you lift. And sing. Okay. Coming onto your stomach. We're going to do, actually we've done a lot of that stuff. Maybe, no, I want to. Never mind. Because now that we've done all of the shoulder activation, oh, hello, cat. Putting yourself in the most useful position. Good job.
They always do.
So since we've done all the shoulder stuff in this position, we're going to do the line on your stomach, trying to lift your shoulder to prove to yourself that activating your shoulders gives you access to more in your back. Everyone here is super excited about it. So I assume you are too. Okay, I'll start the time now and you can set yourself up. So lifting your head, lifting your arms, drag it back, lift high, forward, and down. We have done a lot of this, so go slow. Take your time. Keeping the back of your neck long, reaching your hands away, dragging them back, and letting your legs do whatever they want to do naturally to help. Only 20 more seconds. Get one more good one in. Getting as high as you can. And then sit on your heels and stretch out your back because you're done. Sweet. So despite the shoulder fatigue, did you feel like you had some more lift?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay! Ta-da! So now you know the shoulder things to do when you're doing any active back moves that you're trying to like hold, so any like front balances or anything, doing the shoulder stuff will help. Okay, but now we're gonna roll it out a little bit. So we're gonna do my faves after those ones. Tucking your tail to roll back, so you get a little massage on your upper back and a little mobilization in the opposite direction. So as little momentum as possible, really initiating it from the pelvic tilt. And go. Really compressing as you come back down to lay one vertebrae at a time. Trying to keep your legs as close to your torso as possible. So compress, I'm sticking my tailbone out and bringing my legs in towards my chest. Tucking it under initiates you rolling back, sticking it out drags you back to the ground. And you can do this in a straddle as well. If you want to change up the position, or if you're doing lots of straddle handstands and presses. Same compression, just different stretch. Da-da-da, da-da. Sweet. So I very conveniently didn't bring any blocks today, so we won't use them for our any core things. So to keep with the twisting theme, we're going to do twist ties next. Yay! But it's the last one, so that's nice. Okay, lying on your back, feet up in the air, reach to your feet, drop the leg, twist tie, unwind. Hip lift in between, rinse and repeat. Keeping your upper body as still as possible so you're reaching forward and it's your low body that's twisting. A gentle hip lift. Step it down. Extend through both of your legs. Reach forward with your hands. Feeling that reaching through all of your limbs helps you lift your chest a little higher. Finish the one that you're on. And then you're done. Take a moment, stretch out your stomach.
Also breathe.
And also breathe. Hello. Sweet. So lots of like shoulder opening and twisting and things. So all of this is gonna lead to the special K because that's arm-wise, that's what the action is. You're grabbing opposite foot, reaching over, and then using your core to twist and doing this pull out, which is exactly like this. Rink. So it's gonna help with those special K shapes. It's going to help with any swim through because you're going through anything where you're kind of turning your shoulder under. You're able to pull up, turn it under in control. So all those things, like those three things are often ones that like your shoulders feel pinchy and tight and like you're stuck. So doing things with rotation and extension in them in the same exercise are going to be good warm-ups for those, which is what all of the shoulder parts were. Yeah, and then the more you kind of couple that with like doing some twisting in your core work, then you're going to be able to keep your core tight and twist against it as opposed to just like wrenching with your shoulder, which is how we definitely all start. We're like, we got it! But there's another way. Yeah, so if you want to use your shoulder opening, elbow stands, any handstand stuff, or if there's anything else you want to work on, go for it. If you have any questions, ask away. And if you want to lie on the ground, also cool.